So I think any professor, probably worth his or her salt, is going to be trying to transform the outlooks or the intellect or the sentiments of their students one way or another. I mean, not necessarily trying to brainwash them in any particular direction, but just get students to think more richly, think about issues from a wider set of vantage points than they might before they came to your class. At least understand the issue in broader terms. I don't necessarily, though, try to completely change. I don't want to upend the life trajectories that my students are setting out for themselves. I just want them to take the information from the class that they're getting and the perspectives that they're getting, and then go forward with their lives. If they were planning to be an accountant, after they take my class, they might still be an accountant, but they might be, who knows, they might be involved in some sort of philanthropic venture down the road, or if they're members of a church, they might jump into some sort of social action program that they wouldn't have before, or they might vote for a different candidate who has a different perspective on immigration than they would have voted for because they're now paying attention to an issue. I mean, some of it is just putting issues and considerations on the radar screens of students that they wouldn't otherwise have. I mean, your three perspectives are very interesting. I don't specifically try to push my students or even situate my courses in any of them, really. I do expose my students to what you would think of as, I suppose, neoliberal thinking. If neoliberalism in a nutshell means, political and economic policies with deregulation, privatization, free trade, we reckon with that. We look at that critically. We look at how it's become a kind of hegemonic approach to the global economy. Radical, I don't know, it really depends on how you define it. If it just means change, if it means taking the status quo, be it political or economic, or again, if you interpret neoliberalism as the status quo, and then inverting that, fighting to overturn that completely, I mean, of course, lots of classes do look at activist groups that are challenging that model one way or another. Whether or not they're radical, I don't really know where you necessarily
not necessarily
draw
in a bad way.
that
I mean,
line. I don't mean it in a bad or good way, really. But yes, I mean, radical, I mean, you can be radical and say, all right, let's get off the internal combustion engine and push for electric cars straight away. Deal with this problem of global warming sooner instead of later. Get out in front of it. I mean, that could be interpreted, I guess, as a radical approach. I also think it could be interpreted as a conservative approach. If conservatism implies being risk-averse about the future of the planet and having a conservation emphasis. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure I'm not sure I buy the three categories yet. You can sell them to me in the dissertation that you write. Critical transformation, I mean, sure, I'm not against it. Who would be, right? I think any good university professor wants their students to think critically about a host of issues and also to adjust their life plans as they learn more. As people learn more about the world around them, ideally their perspectives and their even ambitions may change as a result. So I may have a student who's in my class that's going to be an accountant, perfectly good job, but after they are exposed to what we look at in my class, after they look at global issues that they might have never considered before, maybe that accountant will take on some sort of philanthropic endeavor on the side or be involved in a church social outreach group, not even necessarily international, maybe domestic. So there are all different ways that people can take what they learn in a class about global citizenship education and connect it to their everyday life, I think, in all communities, even if they just stay in a local community.
Interesting. All right.